All right. Welcome to another episode of the Dial of K. I have a very special guest with me today, which is why this episode is called Polyin with a Somalian. I want to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine, a collaborator, a sister in arms, just somebody I really fuck with. Okay, so this is Roda Reports on Instagram. Give us your names. Give us all your handles.
So my name is Roda. Actually, don't call me Roda, Roda. And for those who can't pronounce that, you can call me Ro or the Angry Black Muslim Woman. And Ro_reports is my Instagram handle. But you ain't gonna find shit there, but bullshit.
It's real bullshit though. It's some of the most powerful bullshit you will see. Some of the best twerking. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best twerking on the gram. PhD twerking, educated twerking, professional twerking.
Yeah, twerk. They do twerk.
Exactly. All right. So just to give people a brief understanding of who you are to me, right? I met you one night in a bar when I was ear hustling. You was talking about an idea that you had. You wanted to redo Harry Met Sally, and you wanted to call it When Harry Met. But you had the names. I think you had the same name.
You told me you jumped in.
You said you want to do a hood version of Harry Met Sally.
I wanted to do a hood version of Harry Met Sally.
And I said we got to change it to When Hakeem Met Shaniqua.
Yeah. I didn't call her Shaniqua because I feel like those has like derogatory sometimes. But I gave her a black girl name, but I gave the guy a name that wasn't black enough for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You had
the reason why I went with Shaniqua.
It ain't gotta be Hakeem though.
Yeah. The reason why I went with Shaniqua because to reclaim that, because I'm from the generation of a lot of Shaniquas, you know what I'm saying? And when a name is culturally, like names are culturally respected from other places, no disrespect. I'm atheist, you're an angry Muslim woman. And so like a lot of Africans have like Muslim names, you know what I'm saying? And Arab names.
True.
So
I love the idea of reclaiming Shaniqua. It's just that, like we're in a space right now where there's like a whole industry, like $1 million, maybe even $1 billion industry of humiliating black women online. And you have all these men and white people who are dressed up like black people. And the go-to name is always
exactly.
That's why I'm saying it's part of a humiliation right now. But
that's why we got to stand up for Shaniqua even more, because Shaniqua, it's easy to stand up for Shaniqua when she ain't, when they ain't throwing stones at her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's easy to be cool with somebody when they ain't got.
Yeah, we were I remember back in the days, real good character too. We weren't gonna play with Shaniqua.
I remember back in the days, you knew you had beef when like niggas didn't even want to get in the car with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Where you be like, yo, you want to ride? Niggas like, nah, I'm good. I was like, damn, like I'm hot. Like nigga don't even want to get in the car with me, man, because he thinks something gonna happen to him. He think he gonna get arrested. He think he gonna get shot. So we can't abandon Shaniqua because Shaniqua got beef with American.
Right.
We gotta embrace Shaniqua. Yeah, so you were talking about When Harry Met Shaniqua, and I was like, yo, I'm about to steal your idea, like dead ass. I'm gonna steal your idea. And from then on, the friendship started, and I've grown to really appreciate you as a friend, appreciate your perspective, right?
Yeah,
so when I was doing
at the time, I was hosting a radio show in Harlem.
Yes.
And you were doing a podcast. So it just made sense that we would continue our friendship and collaborate at some point.
Exactly. And you came on the last podcast I was doing. And the reason why I disbanded that podcast, because it's pretty much of the same frame of mind as this one. Is just that the language and the title of the previous podcast turned out to be a little bit of a barrier. So you came on the other podcast and you definitely balanced it out, because the other podcast was me and the dude, and you came and brought that energy. And so we've been talking about getting back to it for a minute, and here we are. We finally got back. Like my man, I forgot his name. My man Miles J. We got it started over.
5 years fucking later.
Yeah, it hasn't been 5.
4 years, huh?
Nah, ain't been that long. Nah, because you left New York.
I left you New York 2018. Yeah, I met you 2017.
Yeah, so it's been like 3 years.
2021. Okay.
Yeah, because we did our last episode before you left. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been like 3 years. All right, so we back. That's all that matters is that we back, right? And so now, because this go around, I'm moving how I can move, when I can move, you know what I'm saying? And whenever you come on, I'm going to do the episode. It's going to be called Polyin with a Somalian. And then and Polyin with a Somalian, shout out to that's Wu Talk. You know what I'm saying? That's back when Raekwon and them was slang list, you know, and influenced a lot of slang in the hood. So for some reason, I think I gotta give Raekwon credit for Polyin. You know what I mean? Polyin was definitely a Wu slang, you know, and so Polyin is just when you and your men, you and your homies, whether you're a woman friend, man friend, just you and your friends. Polyin is just kicking it, we shooting shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this is called Polyin with a Somalian, because you are Somalian and we Polyin. You know what I mean?
I do have to make a correction that I am Somali, just for all the Somalis out there, because people do call us Somalians. And the correct term is Somalis. So I just wanted to make that. But it works for the.
Let me correct. Since you pointed that out, let me point out something. This is the hood version of it. Like, we in the hood. We don't know anything about the geopolitical situation of Somalis and Somalians.
I just to know that I'm not ignorant, and I do know that I'm a Somali and not a Somalian. But for this.
All right, so you know what? I'm gonna respect the culture. No,
it works.
No, it's Polly with Somali.
One of my favorite things to say.
So let me just call it Polly with Somali. Exactly. Yeah. So come on.
I say that all the time.
All right. So
anytime anybody fucks with me, I just want y'all to know these bitches look Somalian.
Shout out to Niles on that one. All right. So Polly with a Somali. So being that I really wanted you on the first, second, third, and fourth episodes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring you into the episode 5 is going to be Polyin with Somalian, and I'm just going to touch on your perspective of the previous episodes. And then we'll figure out how to do it next time we do it. But I started out with, even though I didn't upload it as an episode, it was Instagram Live. But you and I watched it together when you were here, and when I tell you, like, sometimes this unconscious fuckboy, like sometimes as men we do unconscious fuckboy stuff, right? And I don't claim it as fuckboy stuff. It's called fuckboy stuff, right? But in that episode, I realized that I had to claim accountability to some fuckboyery. Because when I met a fuck girl, I liked all the shit that the fuck girl was doing, right? So therefore, I have appreciation for fuckery, you know what I'm saying? Because everything that the fuck girl was doing, like, had I been on the other side of the coin or not as understanding and as appreciative, it would be deemed fuck girl, like it was what fuck boy would do. Like, she used to call me and like just try to pop up, you know what I'm saying? Not giving a fuck about what I had going on, trying to disturb my peace, you know what I'm saying? My skin was glowing, my hair was looking good. She just want to pull up and bring her toxic ass around, and I was going for it. I liked it.
Yeah. So, you know what? Like, people love to say, like, I'm not here for drama, no drama. I don't want this. I want peace. I like to just keep it real. Like, I like that drama.
Sometimes the drama is entertaining.
I'm here for the drama. I like drama. I like controlled drama. As long as, like, controlled, I'm here for a little bit of tea, some drama, and I like a little bit of dysfunction. Like, I'm
so
here
let me ask you. So. Can you admit? Mm-hmm. I don't know if admit to the word. I don't know if admit is the word, because admit is suggestive and it's it's indicting. You know what I mean? But I will ask you: do you feel that from time to time you might bust a fuck girl move? And as a angry Black Muslim woman, are you entitled to do some fuck girl shit every now and then?
I believe the latter. I don't purposely engage in the, I don't purposely engage in the former. So, like, I don't purposely try to do fuck girl shit.
But how can you not purposely? Wait, hold on.
But I do think I'm entitled to do it. You know why? Because
but let me ask. I got to interrupt real quick. So, because you're dancing now, and I know you can move. I know you can move. I've seen your hips move before. But how can you acknowledge that you're, or accept that you're entitled, but be elusive in your participation or admitting to your participation?
Because I mean, and like I said, I hate people that talk about their intentions, because your intentions don't matter. It's all about your impact. But my intentions,
That was deep.
while I
Intentions
say
don't
that,
matter. It's all about your impact.
it's all about the impact. So that's why I said I don't purposely do it. So the impact matters. And the impact is, yeah, I'm doing fuck girl shit. But my intentions, although it does not fucking matter, is that I want to be above that, especially now that I'm 30 and I have a child and I have the, you know, right to do whatever the fuck. I have the right to like move the fuck out the way I want to. So I don't need to be lying to nobody or playing nobody. The reason why I said that I think I'm entitled, and I think all women are entitled to some fuck girl shit, is because we have the short end and the stick of society. So sometimes you gotta lie to a nigga. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you gotta, it's survival. You know, sometimes
niggas can't handle the truth.
It's synonymous with surviving for women. You know what I mean?
So, and how far, wait, hold on. So how far is a woman entitled to go with the lie? Are we talking like omission, or are we just talking about blatant
whatever the fuck
we talking about Puff Daddy remixing?
I'm here about shorty surviving, girl. Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
All right. You know what I mean? So at this
point, we're talking
like
my phone wasn't working, lying. I didn't see the calls type lying.
Okay.
I don't know that nigga type line.
Not even fuck girl shit. Like, I believe in never answer the phone until you see the person. Anyways, I'm playing Lady Gaga and Beyonce. Stop calling. I don't want it anymore. I don't even answer my phone from niggas if I'm out. So, but like I said, it's not fuck girl shit to me right now because I can do that. You don't pay my bills, even if you do pay my bill, I'm still not gonna answer.
Yeah, I don't like that pay my bill line. Whenever women say you don't pay my bills, it makes me wonder, well,
if I did,
how much does a nigga get for paying the bills? Because like women like, oh, you don't pay my bills. But then when they say, you know,
girls that are kept don't talk back. Girls that are kept are obedient women. You know what I mean? Kept women are obedient. So it does give them a lot. You know, for sure. We see it all. Like I watched a Real Housewives just the other day, and this guy was yelling at his wife because she walked in front of him. I was like, damn, kept women that bad. Like, you gotta be real obedient and shit. So yeah, it does.
Now hold on. Let me jump back in.
This is what I wanted to say though about fuck girl shit. So now I'm 30. I'm divorced. I have a child. I'm in a very ambitious program. I don't have that much time for fuck girl shit. I'm here for a little bit of drama, but I'm really not here for that. Now, from when I started dating from my 19s all the way, even throughout my marriage, because I was a cheater, because I didn't know I wasn't empowered, I did all types of fuck girl shit. You know what I mean? Like every single thing that you can think about. I lied. I told people I love you that I didn't love. I fucking cheated on every single buddy. I was just doing all of that shit. And I would invite niggas to places that I know another nigga's gonna be, like all the fuck girl shit, and just always play innocent. Like, what did I do? I'm just trying to live my life. I wasn't empowered, I think. I think now I'm a little bit like, I feel super empowered now to the point where like, if I don't really care, like I can just tell every nigga the truth. So if there's drama, they brought that drama and I'll enjoy it.
So let me ask you this, in relation to the episode that I did. So I definitely outgrew fuckboy shit. I never really been into fuckboy shit, keeping it a buck. Like I explained to you, a lot of the stuff that they call fuckboy shit nowadays was player shit back in the days. You know what I'm saying? But now, you know, with the whole canceling of culture, with cancel culture, you know what I'm saying? They trying to shut the players down and call the players fuckboys. You know what I mean? But
not the same thing.
No. But I know it's not the same thing in reality. But like I was thinking about it today. Cancel culture started literally for R. Kelly molesting a child. That's when we started canceling in our community. That's like the first famous person that got canceled, right? And to see how motherfuckers get canceled now, you know what I mean? Like to think that it's like white man law, right? Where in white man law, you have crimes that don't really match in ratio and proportion, right? Where like you could take someone's life and get life in prison, or you could get caught with a certain amount of narcotics and get life in prison, right? Or you could be a serial killer and kill 38 people, right, and get life in prison, or you could accidentally kill somebody in a fight and get life in prison. Like it's so unbalanced when you start issuing out punishments, when you put yourself in a position to issue out punishments. And I look at the cancel culture in our community now, and to think that I can't remember the last dude that got canceled that I really cared about, but or the attempts to cancel, you know what I'm saying? Like they attempted to cancel Drake for having a ghostwriter, or you know what I'm saying? So like niggas tried to do the same thing to Drake for having a ghostwriter that they did to R. Kelly for molesting a child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, having a ghostwriter as bad as molesting a child? You know what I'm saying? People have gotten canceled for making off-color jokes, right? Is making a joke the same thing as molesting a child, but it's still the same outcome, you know, because like, I mean, R. Kelly going to prison is separate from his canceling. When you try to cancel somebody, you're trying to cancel their money.
So what is this analogy representing right now?
Huh?
This analogy is representing what right now?
God damn it. You made me forget. You said no.
I'm trying to say, so we're issuing out, you're trying to say that like a player.
Fuck boys. It's the analogy. It's analogous to fuck boy player, like to the way that
way we treat
shit that used to be,
although they're doing different things.
Yeah. That used to be considered player shit is now like.
In my perspective, a fuck boy or a fuck girl is somebody who's not empowered, who's not courageous enough to tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To me, like a player is a person
keeping it real.
Like, these are my boundaries. So like I said, I don't ever have an intention to be that way. Does it happen every once in a while because the scales are not always tipped for me as a woman? Yeah. You know, and I got to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be that way because now I feel like I'm just too grown for that shit. Yeah. I still like that drama. Don't get it twisted. Like I still
that's where I landed at too, because like when it had been so long, actually, if ever, that I encountered a fuck girl, right? And I knew they existed, you know, I just never had anybody try to run it on me. And then when I met a fuck girl and she was running fuck girl moves, she was busting fuck girl moves, I found it to be thoroughly entertaining. Like it was refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Like finally, she gets me. But my fuck, hold on. My association to fuckery was in having appreciation for fuckery. And I don't believe that you can have appreciation for something and be separated from it. And in the fuck boy episode, I also I drew I compared it or found a similarity in like the sadomasochism, right? Where like the sadist, in order for the sadist to really enjoy being a sadist, the sadist needs a masochism. You know what I'm saying? Because the sadist don't want to be beaten up on somebody that ain't really with it. You know what I'm saying? He wants to, because it's, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with the fuck boy or the fuck girl. They're at their best when they have a participant. And in order to participate, you have to act like you don't like it, right? And you're not with it. But if you keep picking up the phone for the fuck boy or the fuck girl, or you keep letting the fuck boy or the fuck girl come over, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm just saying you just as fuck as the fuck.
Yeah,
you just as fuck.
In your life, they serve you in some sort of manner. So like you're like, oh no, he does this, he's a liar. Like that shit is so crazy to me. Like just because of the way that I am, like the way that I feel my life is like, one, I center myself, I'm number one. And two, there's 7 billion motherfuckers in this earth. Like, I don't feel like I cut off family. Like, I don't play. Like anybody can be blocked. Welcome to my block party. Like, I don't give a fuck. So like, to me, when I hear people, when girls call me and they be like, homeboy did this and this and this, and I'm like, leave. leave.
Fuck up
Like
out
I
of here.
don't do it.
I'll
But
let
you're
that,
not
yeah.
leaving because it serves you in some kind of way. You love that drama. You enjoy.
And I hate to be the nigga that be giving like my homegirls and like this, but I'd love to do it when it's my daughter hasn't given me the opportunity lately. It's been years, but like whenever like one of my homegirls tell me some shit about a nigga, I was like, man, fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as like I'm just hating, but I'm not hating. I'm like, I see,
Yeah,
I know how this is going to play out.
That nigga
Okay, but let me get to the next. Let me get to the next one because
Okay.
all right now, segueing. We touched on this, but so after I did that, I did my episode called "Stop Cheating," and you mentioned cheating, so we don't have to get into that in the past, right? But the key
I
nugget.
have a question for you though.
Okay, you can answer the question. Ask me. You want to ask me the question first, and then I'll pick back up.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay, what is it?
Is cheating that bad? What is the dramatics about? I don't
Okay, then
it.
so it fits into my question. Then my answer is going to also fit into my next statement, right? Okay. So the key nugget that I pulled away from that, yes, in my opinion, cheating is bad. Like cheating is sucker shit, right? And I don't condone no sucker shit. Like I'm sucker free, right? And the thing about cheating is now my life is a lot less complicated. So I could have a tolerance for stuff that I couldn't tolerate in the past. But based on those principles, it's like I hate to bring up Machiavelli because he's a white dude, but I like him. But Machiavelli said, when you cross somebody, you got to cross them all the way out, right? Because if you cross somebody and then you go back around them, like after you've betrayed them, you always have to wonder when is the knife gonna go back into your back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now, unless you're like drama and you want to live in that heightened state of awareness, then knock yourself out. I prefer not to have that heightened state of awareness, right? And then once you get into lying to somebody, it's like, where does the line draw? You know, it's one thing to lie to me about, where you've been, who you fucking, right? That's cool. But then as stakes get higher, is it always going to be within your benefit or within your scope of capabilities to lie to me? Is it always going to be within your benefit and your scope of capabilities to betray me, right? Years down the line, like you could start like this could end up into something worse, and then you never know who you cheating with. You know what I mean? Like I have a friend who he met this chick and she had a nigga that we did not know the type of nigga that he was. You know what I'm saying? And but my friend, and she was, I guess, doing her. You know what I'm saying? But one day, she pulled up to the crib with a dude in the car, and the nigga that was tired of whatever was going on ran up on the car and domed both of them, like her and the dude. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when we got the word that it happened, me and my man was literally playing chess when somebody gave him that news. I was like, oh shit. And the first thing that went in my mind was like, damn, that could have been you. You know what I'm saying? So like, we never think of the extremes because the less that you've been in contact with the extremes, you think about them less, But I know for a fact that, shit could go wrong and shit could go real wrong. You know what I mean? So that's the extreme end of it. So like, why flirt with it,
So that's my problem. My problem is that should never occur. Like when I think about the idea that there's actually laws for like a crime of passion, and it falls under for like people who walk into their home and they see their husband, their spouse cheating on them and they kill them. You would be protected under that law, like of crime of passion, and you would get a lot less of a sentence. And to me, it's like, that's just socializing people to think that they can react dramatically to cheating because like we literally are like saying that it's okay as a collective society where like, and we normalize like bitches like fighting over niggas or niggas fighting over women, and I just don't find that to be normal behavior. I find that to be really weird. Like I'm just not a very jealous person at all. Like I have a big family. It was like you couldn't be jealous or you would be jealous all the time, you know what I mean? You just got to learn like and also I just believe in abundance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think there's always more. Like there's always been more historically. Why would there stop being more now? I just don't know why I gotta fucking be mad at somebody for having something. Like that is weird to me. It's not productive. So like I just feel like as a society, we have socialized people to think, oh my God, somebody cheats on you, grab a knife, go fight, go, go crazy. And I think that is psychotic behavior. We don't.
Yeah, it's definitely psychotic.
We've
there's
normalized it.
no
So to
disputing
me,
that.
I want to talk about it more with people and be like, what is it? Because like, I just can't imagine if a nigga cheated on me that it's that like, it doesn't surprise me that somebody finds another person attractive. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that fucking surprising. Like, Carl, I could be madly in love with you and like fucking love the shit out of you. And then go to a bar this weekend and meet somebody who's gonna like spark my interest and something might happen. That has nothing to do with you or our connection or anything. That's just like human nature. You really gonna fucking fuck up your life, fuck up my life over that?
No,
like, that's just crazy.
I'm never going. I'm not. Hold on.
Yeah.
But you're going someplace else. Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
But my thing is, like you said, it's not your intention. It's your impact. You know what I'm saying? And
how did that even really impact you?
No. No. Hold on. It's not impacting me. What I'm saying is my stance is based on me not having control over the world, right? And I know for a fact I exist in a frame of mind, and things affect me a lot different than they affect a lot of other people. So I very seldom get upset about anything, right? But I know everybody else ain't like that. You know what I mean? So to limit my exposure to bullshit, I try to limit bullshit, So I don't put myself in a position where I'm gonna be cheating on somebody, right? Because any woman dealing with me, understands where I'm at in that moment. I don't really believe in lying and cheating, not because I'm a prude or because I'm some type of bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in lying and cheating. Because
so the women that you engage with, how do you feel about them sleeping with other people?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, so you also give them space.
Yeah. I have no problem with that. Like I don't know if you remember when we did that topic on the Rand Code when the episode was Can She Try Dick? You know what I'm saying? And it was based on a story that a dude had told me. But matter of fact, I see there's a need to bring that back. So we'll do that again. So I get that. But the thing that when I was talking to the guys about cheating, right? I was trying to explain to some dudes why, like cheating is whack, right? And they was like, look, and it was one of many times that I was in conversation with men, and I was the oddball out, right? But I was odd out for like having a different opinion and a different position from them, but their opinion and position was so, in my opinion, wrong. And they thought I was as wrong as I thought they were wrong. And that's what made it so interesting. But like every dude in this conversation, I believe it was like 3 or 4 of us, right? And then I picked it up with somebody else who interestingly had the same point of view as these other guys that he wasn't even there for, that he didn't even know. He had nothing in common logistically with these other dudes, but he literally parroted. Like it was as if he was in the conversation with us, right? But the thing that stood out the most as the guys were justifying cheating was they acknowledged that they felt entitled to have more than one woman and be with more than one woman. So I was like, why don't you just, be a player? Then it's like, nah, the dude said the consensus was they wanted the women to themselves, right? And if the women knew that they was engaging in sexual congress with other women, then that would give them somewhat of a green light to do the same thing as well. And they didn't want to share a woman. So I was like, okay, then they couldn't. And so I asked them why. And basically it was more of a pride thing than anything else, right? With these particular guys. And because of the lifestyle that they came from, I understood. It was a pride and it's a security thing. And it had a level of safety to it because, you just can't be bumping into certain dudes in certain places. See, but hold on. But then hold on. I'm going to give you the mic real quick. So then I had a conversation with a woman, right? And as talking to the woman, she had, long story short, I was explaining to her that I had been in a relationship for a long time because of, the things that had happened to me. And her conclusion was like, oh, then you ain't never really had no like good like sex, because she said, you're just getting the sex that a woman gives a dude that she's just fucking. Like, I'm not getting that's my man sex, as if that's my man sex is like some better sex, right? So I was like, damn, so this like, so bitch got two pussies, like the that she get to like this, like it's the pussy that she been giving out, and then it's this other pussy that's been tucked away, just waiting for it. I said, obviously, I've never had the other pussy, but the pussy that I've been getting was good because I just never had any bad pussy before. But so what do you say to that, to the men using cheating? And then my conclusion was that's what made cheating even worse for those guys, because they were cheating to steal from that woman what she would have not necessarily been given to them, right? So then I closed it out with one time me and you were talking, and you said something real dope, right? And you was like, you don't believe in transactional, out of obligation, blah, blah, blah. You was like, a nigga gonna get some pussy when I want some dick, right? Like, that's it, right? And I was like, that's the realest shit I ever heard. You know what I'm saying? In that context, right? And so I concluded, I was like, see, niggas think like this pussy that they lied to get is like the best pussy in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, that's not the best pussy in the world. The best pussy in the world is a pussy that's given to you. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? You ain't coerce her, you ain't trick her out of it. Like, this is what it is. But so the cheater is a deceiver, right? When two teams are playing a game, the team that cheats is the team that is not as good as the other team. They have to cheat in order to get an edge. Like, they're inadequate. So when a nigga cheats on a woman, or when a woman cheats on her man, it's because it's because you can't deliver what the person is expecting of you, and you can't deliver what you said that you were going to deliver. So in order to try to deliver, you cheat. It's like selling a nigga something. Like if you go buy some work from somebody, and back in the days when we used to do our thing, sometimes, we would play little games. Like, I used to put sugar in the blow because it was shiny and you couldn't really tell. And it was a little bit heavier than regular blow. So where everybody was using other type of cuts, dude put me up on table sugar one time. So like, but I wouldn't beat a nigga head in, you know what I'm saying? I might put like 3 grams of sugar on 25 grams of Coke, and boom, now you got an ounce. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna bust a nigga head open and put like 14 grams of cut on an ounce. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not going to sell a nigga no beat.
Okay, so you're saying a handful. So first of all, to engage with what the fellas were saying and their argument, that ties back into your first podcast about fuck girl shit. When I was saying that girls are entitled to fuck girl shit, that's the kind of shit that we have to be entitled to. Because again, you engage with a nigga that's like, yo, I want to fuck a bunch of bitches, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to fuck nobody. But women know everything. We know how if a nigga's fucking somebody else. Like, it's not, y'all not even that slick. And we know that. So it's like, that's what I was talking about. Women are entitled to play games because niggas do that patriarchal bullshit where I can do what you can do. So yeah, that just supports my argument. Thank you.
Okay. And what about the,
and as far as Shorty talking about like, oh, you ain't never got no, that's my man pussy. That's stupid. That's dumb.
I didn't say I agree with it. But
I agree with that. I think.
But hold on though, Roda. How could it be? But I'm the reason why I'm bringing it up, because it can't be that far fetched, because she was nowhere. Hold on. She was nowhere near. She was nowhere in the room when I had the conversation with the dudes who said that's why they do it.
I get it. I get that they might feel that way, and I get that she might seriously think that like, oh, the man that's my man. I'm putting it in him. I'm putting it in a little bit different. I do think that when people are more comfortable with each other, that the sex is better. So maybe what she's talking about is that like, yo, we have a different connection. So I'm more comfortable. Therefore, I'm more.
And that was her comfort level. Her comfort level is thinking that
but for her to assume that everybody gets the same comfort level from the same things is kind of ignorant. Like, maybe I don't get the comfort from you being my only man. Maybe I get the comfort from you being a real ass nigga. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like everybody busts wide open and gets more comfortable for different reasons. You know, I just think like my mindset about sex is a little bit different than people. Like one, like I don't like you were mentioning earlier. I definitely don't believe. I believe that sex will only happen for me personally if I want to have sex. Nobody can beg me. That's going to turn me off even more. You can't coerce me. You can't rape me because we're gonna fight and I'm gonna kill you. You can't like you can buy me a fucking island. I'm not gonna give you pussy because you bought me an island. I'm gonna give you pussy because maybe you have some good game while we're at the island. Like that's not gonna happen. Like whatever. But I also believe that sex is just sex. That having it for one reason or another is not gonna make it different. Whether you have it because you're in love, whether you have it because someone paid you, whether you have it because you're giving it out of pity. Sex is just sex. It's the same fucking exact act. What the reason why you do it don't change shit.
All right.
You know what I mean?
So let me get to the next one. That was the next episode I did was it was based on the I watched this documentary, the MLK FBI documentary. Did you see that?
No, I didn't watch it yet.
All right. So let me just get to the gist of it, right? My major takeaway of it was that I was looking at the documentary, right? And the key of the documentary was about how the FBI was surveilling Martin Luther King, and they ended up finding out that him and his mans was having orgies, right? And I found that extremely interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, who the fuck was fucking Martin Luther? Who like I want to know who was the women on the tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I asked that question about who this was me being silly, right? But in the midst of watching it, what really hit me was like, you know, I'm an atheist, and so I have like very low tolerance for like the way that we were colonized and conquered as Black people, and how we embraced like I lost you. I can't hear you. What happened?
I said through Christianity.
Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah. So I have very little tolerance for that, right? And as I was watching the documentary and I saw King and all those dudes getting their Southern Baptists on, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting that same level of like disgust that I usually get when I see it. I had an epiphany, and I was like, who were the preachers back then, right? Back then, especially in the South, like this is before rappers. This is before like you had like athletes like getting a bunch of money. Like the main dudes in the hood in the Black community was the players, the gangsters, the few businessmen, and the bourgeoisie. But the preacher was elevated to that status. Like being a preacher in the 60s was like being a rapper. In nowadays, like Martin Luther King was like in Atlanta in 1965 was like a little baby in Atlanta in 2021. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting a lot of groupies and shit, right? Yeah. But then I was like, the game that the preachers had, like those, like in that moment, I realized that the preachers were masters of the game, right? And they was and before drugs became like the go-to hustle in the Black community, you had to like the con man and the player was like dudes went outside with nothing and came up with something, right? Literally talked their way up.
Requires charisma.
Yeah. But so this is what hit me. Hold on. I want to get your opinion on this, right? So it hit me that as I was watching Martin Luther King, I realized that they could not have done that any other way, right? Like if Martin Luther King was a nigga like me, talking like I'm an atheist, I don't care about the white man religion, blah, 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 there would have been no civil rights movement. It would have never gotten off the ground. It would have been ignored, right? On the other end of the spectrum, you had Elijah Muhammad with that fake Muslim shit. That shit wasn't gonna go nowhere. But Martin Luther King and them, they flipped that Christianity and they jeffed their way all the way through, right? And it hit me. I was like, the white man conned our ancestors into Christianity. But then our ancestors, being the bosses of boss players, the slickest of slick niggas, used that same Christianity to con a significant amount of white people to be less racist. Less racist. Because as a white person in the South, there was no reason for you to not embrace white supremacy. Like, I ain't gonna lie, when I meet white people that are not white supremacists, I'm a little suspect of them. I'm like, why aren't you though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to be my friend? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I'm being facetious, but I'm being realistic as well. It's counterproductive to your survival, right? In classic sense. And the white people that are not white supremacists, I know they take comfort in what the white supremacists are doing to give them cover, to allow them to exist in this quasi not white supremacist state, but it's still very white supremacist, because
we also have to acknowledge how white supremacy damages white people, and it does in a multitude of ways. Like, one, if you're a white person in poverty, all the laws that are being made to come after Black people eventually hits your communities too, because
that's of course. But we're not talking about them though.
That's one. Two, just like the white delusion, the fear of ever being able to speak up for yourself, the knowing that nothing that you ever earn is really yours. Like, there's just a lot of trauma and a lot of.
So how do you feel about the con though? How do you feel about?
How do I feel about the con? Guess
how
what?
do you wait? Let me. I went off on little tangents. Let me put it back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? How do you feel about Black Christians being able to take Christianity, the thing that was literally meant to destroy them, right? Use it as a con to run it back on the white people. I know the white people that came up with the Christianity con. I know when they saw niggas pop it back on them, they was like, God damn it. And they couldn't expose it, because if they would have exposed it, it would have pulled the whole curtains off the shit. They're like, nah, this is some bullshit. We made it up. Don't listen to these niggas. It's all bullshit. But they could never acknowledge that it was bullshit. So they had to sit there and watch Martin Luther King and the Southern Baptists and Black Christians use that same con to convince a significant amount of white people to be less racist.
So I feel split between it, because one part of me is always excited when Black people use any tools to con white people. Like, I'm here for the conning. I'm here. I hate when I hear Black people say, like, oh, when they're like in a space that, that's a white space, and they be like, oh, I have imposter syndrome. I'm like, the fuck? You're a trickster, goddess, or god. Yes, this whole shit is bullshit. You are not an imposter. They're imposters. This whole shit is imposters. This whole shit is bullshit. You're a trickster fucking goddess, and you should be fucking proud of yourself for fucking weaseling your way into this fucking situation. Now go fucking do damage. Like, I'm here for that fucking shit. I'm a refugee, and I have been in super white spaces. I went to an Ivy League school. Like, what refugee that comes from poverty, who has two parents who can't read and write, goes to a motherfucking Ivy League school? And a lot of the Black students that were there, they felt like, I've arrived, or I'm so lucky to be here. Where I kept feeling like, y'all motherfuckers is lucky I'm here, first of all. And second of all, I'm a whole trickster fucking goddess. I fucking got myself up in here. I didn't even fucking graduate high school. Like, I was here for that shit. I never feel ashamed about that, and I'm always excited about that. But I also, I am a belief of the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house, right? From Audrey, I want to give that credit to Audrey Lorde, Audrey Lorde's book. I do believe in that. I do believe in that. We as Black people have to be a little bit more creative and come up with different tools. And we can't use any of the tools of white supremacy to dismantle white supremacy. It's just not going to work. We have to be more imaginative. We have that capability. We've proven ourselves that, and we gotta find different ways. What Martin Luther King did, to me, it wasn't at the end of the day successful, because now 50, 60 years later, white people don't still understand Martin Luther King's politics, or at least don't even acknowledge his involvement, because towards the end he was very anti-capitalist. And
that's when he got killed.
They don't acknowledge that. Instead, they use it as a shield. They use Martin Luther King's work as a shield for them to be like, let's all be nice and turn the other cheek and do that.
Let me ask you something about that real quick, because I hear people say that all the time.
Martin Luther King's work is more used as a shield today in 2021.
Well, hold on. I hear people say that a lot.
To sway them from real anti-racism. But hold on, that's important to say. So I don't think the con worked, first of all. Am I in support of cons? No. Am I in support of cons? Yes. did that con particularly work? No, because it might have made white people feel a little bit more comfortable, or to have their fake empathy, so they can center themselves in their empathy. I feel bad, blah blah blah. But it didn't motivate any white person to do real anti-racism work. It didn't get them to do real white supremacy.
That's not what I said, though. I said that he conned a significant amount of white people to be less racist. And hold on. We've been down this road before.
Anti-racist.
Yeah, I didn't say anti. I said less. But
yeah, but even if you're not racist, that's not good enough for me.
I said less. I didn't say not.
Well, Roda. It's a fail.
No, a con is a con. Roda. This is what I'm saying.
Your con.
Roda, you have to give crackers some credit. Like, crackers in 2021 are a lot less crackery than they were in 1965, right? And we owe that to them. I got it. Look, I live by player rules, right? Player rule is don't down him, crown him. You gotta crown a player when you gotta give a nigga credit for his game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of downing. And I understand when people down. Hold on. I understand when people say stuff like that. Hold on. I understand when people say stuff like that, right? And I understand that I got a lot of street player in me, even though I'm retired. But when you live by player rules, you know what I'm saying? You can't look at Martin Luther King and see nothing other than a boss player that ran some of the coldest game that ever been ran, ever. Yeah, I mean, we have to acknowledge that
one of the
crackers
best works I've seen as far as like on strategic work, for sure. And we still use that. We still use that strategic groundwork that him and the double NAACP came up with. Till this day, we still use that same exact groundwork. He did a lot of strategic work. He did a lot of great groundwork, and he's done a lot. He's very impactful. But what I'm trying to say is that particular con, to me, was not successful.
Okay, to go further on that, right? White supremacy has been the order of the world. Mm-hmm. For a long ass time, right?
Tens of thousands of years.
Is it tens of thousands?
Probably 10,000 years.
No, not 10,000. It's a few thousand, not 10.
Not 10.
No. Because white people took control of the world, based on the calendar, the Christian calendar. So they've been in control for like 2021 years, right? Yeah. So, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a long time, considering how long.
That's not a long time in the world. Yeah,
but it's a long ass time in reality of human beings, right? So, in Martin Luther King's time frame, the thought of destroying white supremacy was that just wasn't even realistic, right? Destroying it, even combating it, like. I made this analogy the other day when I was talking about that. Like, in 1955, if I came to you and said, yo, I got an idea, this is the goal. We're gonna convince white people to let us vote, ride on buses, work some jobs, and drink from some water fountains. Like those are our four goals, right? Riding buses, voting, drinking from water fountains, and work some jobs, right? Just those four. Oh, and buy some, and use our money to buy some houses that they're going to sell us. 5-point plan. If me saying that in 1955, right, is akin to me coming to you right now today and saying, Roda, I got an idea for a flying car company, right? And this is 2021. By 2031, not only are we going to have a flying car company, we're going to convince the United States and possibly the world to create the infrastructure for our flying cars to travel around, right? And we're going to convince people. We're also going to assume that human beings are going to develop the necessary hand-eye coordination to maneuver these flying cars around without crashing into each other and fucking everything up.
Yeah.
All of these that's a tall order.
It's a tall order, but that's why they call it radical, because it has to be radical.
It's yeah. I'm not saying it, but that's how radical what they were doing.
You know what I find? You know what's so interesting is that, like, I feel like we believe in like a lot of I think our morals and ethics really align, and I think that even our lifestyles really align. But the very key difference, that a nuanced difference between me and you, is that you're like, yo, this is how the world is, and this is how I'm gonna have to deal with this world. And I come from like, this is how the world is. Let's fuck it all up and let's fucking change it. And that's always been my mindset since a child. So I think that's where we always come in. You're always like, Rhoda, this is how it is, and I'm always like, but it shouldn't be this way. So I'm a very radical thinker. I know that. Like, I'm left, like left of Karl Marx, left of everything. So I'm a very radical person. I want to see the world like a whole different place. You know what I mean? And I believe in by having that mind. Like I have people always tell me like, yeah, but you live in patriarchy, so why are you complaining about it? Because I'm like, I have to show people, like, you have to complain about it. You can't just go with things, like, and I'm okay with the consequences. Like, I'm here for all of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm here. I know that a lot of people are not gonna like me because I'm an interrupter. I am a radical person. I'm not even here for reform. Like, I don't even like when people say defund the police. I'm like, abolish them, get rid of them. I don't want to defund them. I want to abolish them. I want to abolish prisons. I want to abolish all types of shit. I want to abolish being president. I want a radically new world. So I know that I'm not, a lot of people might see me as crazy, but I feel like those kind of thinkers are important to move shit forward. So I might not actually do any real action, but just by saying it and believing it, I believe it's going to bring and birth another generation of
that is interesting, because that segues to my last episode, and I want to get your take on that, right? And I was kind of loose with it, but I'm there with it too, right? So the last episode I did was stop clapping for capping, right? And the reason why I say stop clapping for capping is because I feel that the way that we applaud capping now,
you come up with the greatest titles, by the way.
Thank you. The way that we applaud capping now, it's made capping the language and the currency in which things are negotiated and goods and services are exchanged, right? And it was cool to what capping first started out as, right? But now that you see capping, once capping became the language of the current times, then Donald Trump capped his way into office. So did Obama, though, right? Everybody capped their way into office. But with each generation of capping, right, there was like, people understood. Because like when I first came in contact with the term capping, I was in Texas, right, in 2000, and but I was equating capping to fronting, which was like the term that we were using at the time. Where fronting is just being 100% fake, right? Capping, back when it first came out, was like if you had something and you were showing it off a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you could be accidentally capping, because if you get money at the time, and you get money, you live in a certain way, you ain't necessarily trying to cap. You know what I mean? But somebody that don't got it, don't see, you know what I mean? They think you capping. But then with so many words over the last 20 years, the slang kind of morphed into something else, right? Where now capping is literally like it's not even about fronting no more. Like, you can literally lie and cap. You know what I'm saying? And then you do things for attention. And we're to the point where the attention is more important than the thing. And the thing that you're trying to do may never get done, but the attention is there. And when you just said that you may make the noise and the things might not get done, but you felt that the energy had to be injected, that's the first time I looked at it like that. Like when you just said it, like I had a real negative connotation on capping, especially like the social media activist capping style, right? The only thing about what I don't like about the social media activist capping is like, depends on who's doing it. The impact is different. So like white people, white supremacists, white nationalists, white fuckery, when they were doing social media activist capping, like they were also able to cap their way into police departments, cap their way into, like, you got a general. The General Flynn was a very high ranking nigga in the army. You know what I'm saying? And so you can't have somebody capping with that cap mentality, making decisions about what country to invade, how to spend money on bombs, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, then on our end, which, because we don't have the power, that white people have. Our capping doesn't really have the same ramifications as white capping, right? Really what it does, the only thing we could really do without capping is annoy the shit out of me. Like I'm the only person that's really annoyed by it. So I'm the only one speaking out against it because I'm the only one annoyed. You know what I'm saying? But like I get annoyed as fuck to see like, and then when it's to the point now when I was talking to somebody the other day and they said that this rapper dude was like Martin Luther King because he speaks out on this, that, and the third. I'm like, are you serious?
Whoa. Well, Martin Luther King was not just speaking out on things. He was actually doing strategic work again.
Yeah.
That was the important part. And he was on the ground every single day. That's why that nigga carried a gun every single day, because that nigga was putting his life on the line.
And got killed. Like one thing about it, when somebody kills you before you even turn 40, when somebody kills you before you've been doing what you've been doing for less than like 10 years, that means you're really doing something. You know what I'm saying? When the FBI like they brought up when the dude, what's his name, when Dr. Sebi died, right? Somebody like they killed Dr. Sebi. I asked him, I was like, you really think they killed the 80-something-year-old nigga? Like if he was that much of a threat, he wouldn't have made it to 80. They'd have knocked him off a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like they killed Martin Luther King when he was 39. You know what I'm saying? They killed John F. Kennedy when he was 42 in front of his wife, in front of the whole world. They knocked his whole head off. They didn't wait till he was like 80 years old and then he died and it's like, oh, we killed him. Fuck out.
I totally get it though, because activism is literally an industry now, right? It's an industry now. So there is a lot of people who are doing performative work, who know that they have no consequences and know that there's no stakes for them and that they're going to just get, clapped for. I could be saying the same thing. I mean, I could say something and then a white girl could say the same thing. When I say it, it's like, you annoying black bitch, shut up, you're aggressive, you're this, you're that, stop complaining. Mm-hmm. And the white woman could say the same thing with a lot less range, a lot less well read, and probably without even really understanding the subject as well as I do. And people will be like, oh my God, thank you so much, and she will get all these accolades. And a lot of people get addicted to that, so then they'll literally make it a career and to perform. You know, we see all these gentrified neighborhoods that say Black Lives Matter all over their roads and stuff. That's super performative. Did you see that video? There was like
while they're displacing the black people that live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, while they're displacing. Have you saw that video? There was a protest and there was
it's like gentrified.
Yeah. And first of all, the song was a bop. It was a whole bop. It was like black people used to live here. Yeah. So anyway, Shorty's walking down the street by these people eating, and this white guy was bopping because he didn't know that he was the buyer gentrifier. And when he heard it, he was like, but that was a neighborhood that probably has, he probably has Black Lives Matter on his
Definitely
Instagram.
Black Lives Matter.
He probably has that, but when he saw that, he was a problem, there was no bopping. Like, why didn't he bop and stand up and be like, yes, but no, it was like real consequences. And it's like, a real activist don't give a fuck about no consequences. You know what I mean? Martin Luther King went to jail. He had to carry a gun.
And I don't like talking about other people, and I'll never say their names, except the only name that I call out disrespectfully is Sean King. I don't like Sean King.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
I hate his ass so much.
These dudes have a podcast and they be like they be interviewing like real revolutionaries. They be talking about Mumia. They be talking about
here's my I don't even want to complain about him, but to me, all his work is stolen from Black women and he doesn't credit any of them, and that's enough to be the problem that we are that's a real huge fucking problem. So what he's doing is just as violent as white supremacists. I don't even want to talk about him, but the fact that he's light skinned.
He's white. He's not light skinned.
He's white. Yeah, you're right. He's not even white. He's a black fisher. He's a black fisher. He's not even a fucking old black person. But it's these people who have no consequences because of their positionality that get to be activists. Like even Angela Rye, she's on CNN and she's always rolling her neck and snapping her fingers and being all that shit. I'm not mad at her for that. But just imagine if a person that my complexion did that on CNN. I would never be invited ever again. So,
but even that though, but hold on. And that's where I'm going with it as well, right? So one of the motivations of that was when we came down to DC that time, right? That was like mid-January. and Fahia was riding with me. You know, Fahia is running for. Shout out to Fahia Ali Boombaye.
Ali for state senate, New York.
But yeah, but I shared a show that I was watching with her and about these three dudes. You know what I'm saying? They was doing black progressive politics, blah 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 blah. Long story short, I saw the day that I shared it to her when I was looking at the text one day, and then not even 30 days later, these dudes stopped doing the show. They fell out with each other, right? But the mission of the show at the time when I met them was like they were fighting white supremacy, injustice, capitalism. Like they had a big fish to fry, right? But when the capping was compromised, right? Because one dude wanted more time and this, that, and the third, like they got involved, like they got in the way of the capping. So I was like, damn. So because y'all can't figure out how to split YouTube money, no more fighting white supremacy.
Well, hopefully they'll find another avenue. But I will say, what I will say, hold on, like this is what goes back to what I was saying.
Like, so it hit me then, like, damn it, everything you watch is cap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and because guess what? Like, it goes back to
friendly. You know, okay, so like a nigga's running for president, right? When Kamala Harris running for president, and I was in a barbershop. It's a barbershop beauty salon, and it's like some older women is in there. And it's like, yeah, you know, we voting for Kamala, blah blah blah. And I get it. You know, first black woman. I was like, first of all, she's a Douglas. She's not black. You know what I'm saying? But even more, so I was like, do you understand that? Would you allow an executioner, right, to be a doctor? Like a nigga would decide, like, no, I'm tired of being an executioner. I think I'm gonna be a doctor now. Or would you allow? But put it in simple terms, like, I was trying to explain to them the conflict of somebody who was once a prosecutor, right? Literally, when you hand out a criminal indictment, it says the state of such and such versus you. So it's always the state versus the people in that exchange, right? So I was like, do you understand that somebody that used to represent the state against the people, right, now telling you that they want to run for a job in which they're now going to represent the people? You like it's just certain shit you can't do after you do other things. You just got to go on with your life. You know what I'm saying? If you were a butcher at one time, you can't run a PETA shelter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though if you're reformed and you don't believe in, and you can't run you can't be a company that used to run slaughterhouses. You can't be Tyson, right? Where you kill chickens all day and then decide, you know what? I want to open up a pet a pet grooming service. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You just you gotta live your life and go on with your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So well, what I will say is that, like, we're living in an era where everybody wants to be famous and everybody wants to be seen and everybody wants that, because it is the new
currency.
Attention is now, you know, it is monetary. Like that's how we, you know, that's how we do that. So I get the need for survival and all that stuff, but real activism is not about centering yourself. It's about uplifting the people that are underneath you. And we all have different positionalities, right? So like for me, it's important for me to uplift women with afros or different phenotypes, you know, who I might have a little bit more privilege than. And I expect people who have more privilege than me to open up a space for me to talk. And when I have a chance to talk, it's my job to now open up space for other people to talk. It's never about centering your fucking self. And if you're doing that, then you're probably being performative and you're probably not sincere. You know what I mean? And you are actually, you actually benefit from the system staying because you're relying on it for monetary reasons. So I don't believe you. You know, I don't believe you.
Yeah, like these people that have these shows about fighting white supremacy. If white supremacy ends, what are they going to do? And like, there's all these progressive left-wing shows, like especially like in the YouTube sphere, right? Where these guys are like anti-capitalist, this, that, and third. The anti-capitalist progressive niggas fell out. They fell out over money. You know?
Exactly. And they're anti-capitalist. It makes no sense.
Yeah, like it was like the whole fighting white supremacy and capitalism and reforming the political system. Them niggas got to arguing about some money and that shit was out the window, man. It was all cap. All right, so I got to get up out of here. My battery's running low. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to do this again and again and again and again, you know, and this is good. Anytime I get to see your face is worth it.
Yes.
So, I'm going to sign off now. What do you got to say in closing?
Stay black.
You ain't got no choice about that. All right. Notify his birthday.
Yes, cheers. And yeah, Ali for state senate, New York.
Ali for state senate. Ali, boom, bye.
Yes.
All right, I'm out.